Mr. Deutch, the floor is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and welcome, Ambassador Rice. Ambassador, prior to Richard Goldstone's article last weekend, the Human Rights Council had just recently adopted a resolution by Richard Falk, Special Rapporteur on Palestinian Human Rights, perhaps also known as Special Rapporteur to encourage further anti-Israel bias, accusing Israel of committing ethnic cleansing. In Goldstone's admission, he confirms that the Israeli army didn't intentionally fire on civilians in Gaza, but that Hamas purposefully and indiscriminately aimed at civilian targets. Based on his findings and his statements, I hope that you'll speak to the Council's ability to seek the reconsideration, the revocation, or the retraction of the Goldstone report, in large measure because of the opportunity it provides to acknowledge that Israel has the right, not the duty, like any other civilized nation, to take action to protect its citizens, civilians who are under an onslaught of attacks, and I look forward to your testimony.
Ambassador Rice, I wanted to turn to Iran, and as we look at recent events in the Middle East, it seems that that Iran has been emboldened. On Tuesday, the Iranian ambassador to the UN was quoted as saying that the geopolitical picture of the region is changing in favor of Iran. Reports in the last several weeks indicate that Iran is continuing to move toward weaponization, and Iran continues to look for ways to evade international sanctions. I would like to commend you for the role that you have played, first in the UN sanctions against Iran last year, the efforts that, again, you helped to spearhead to keep Iran off of the Human Rights Council, and particularly the creation of the Special Rapporteur on Iran, hopefully focusing on Iranian human rights abuses. On a going forward basis, as we look to events unfolding in the region and steps that can be taken to focus on the threats that Iran poses, if the regime continues to defy the IAEA and moves ahead with its illicit nuclear program, would the Security Council impose another round of sanctions that would include even greater sanctions to choke off the energy sector? I wonder if there have been discussions with Security Council members about strengthening existing sanctions, and of greatest concern to me, if you could address what you think it would take to get China, who continues to make billion-dollar investments in Iran's oil fields, and the Russians, who recently spoke of rolling back sanctions, to cooperate and support another resolution.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for your kind words in support of our efforts, both in the Security Council and other bodies, with respect to Iran. We have been very plain that we will stand up and condemn and seek to isolate Iran for its human rights record and its abuses, both in multilateral fora and nationally, as we have continued to impose sanctions on individuals responsible for Iran's human rights abuses. And we will do all that we can to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear capacity. We do that through a variety of means, through multilateral measures, as we have in the United Nations Security Council, and I'll come back to what more we can do, but also, as you know, through your excellent legislation and national measures that we have taken and continue to take to implement not only the Security Council resolutions, but the measures and authorities given to us by Congress. Inside the UN, I think in the short term, there is scope for tightening enforcement and implementation of 1929 and previous resolutions, which are having a significant impact, and we are regularly getting the support of countries from Nigeria to Asia in blocking and intercepting, and obviously Israel, Iranian arms shipments. So there is a panel of experts, there is a sanctions committee, all of which can help tighten enforcement of existing measures. I think it needs to be acknowledged that China and Russia worked with us to pass that important resolution. They have implemented it to the letter, and we have asked them to do more. Russia has dealt with the S-300s, which is above and beyond the resolution. China, we have been pressing not to backfill investments, and thus far we've seen a good response to that sort of request. In terms of a new resolution in the short term, sir, I think that is unlikely to be viable. but obviously over time and also in response to actions that Iran may take, we will continue to keep multilateral action, including Security Council action, on the table.
And I appreciate that. And just in my remaining minute, in addition to these resolutions on nuclear proliferation activities, Iran has consistently been found to be in violation of arms transfer resolutions, the interception of the Victoria by the Israeli Navy with 2,500 mortars and 65,000 rounds of ammunition, the interception, again, seizure of illegal arms shipments by Nigeria in February, the Turkish seizure of Iranian cargo vessel carrying 60 AK-47s and 2,000 mortar shells. Iran has continued to violate Security Council Resolution 1747. I would respectfully request that you continue to look for ways to penalize Iran for noncompliance with that resolution, which prohibits Iranian arms exports.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Madam Ambassador, I know that